All right, my friends. Let's get started. For this practice, if you have a block or two, you might want to grab it. If not, a water bottle works, or a chair, a seat of a chair will work for what we're going to use it with. And really, that's about all we need. You might want a blanket to sit on if you're comfortable with that. All right. So let's come to a comfortable seated position, letting our eyes close. And I'm going to put in our chat what we're going to say to tune in. Take a moment and just soften the gaze. Find the breath. Thank you, Rachel. You're amazing. Oh my goodness. And we'll begin by rubbing our palms together. So rubbing them into each other. This turns on nerve endings and channels energy from our palms into the meridians of our arm, into our heart space. And if you know me, I say very frequently, I remind us all that our heart is our place of truth. Press our palms together, thumbs to the sternum. And so as we find our voice and as we evolve into our truest expression and brush away those stories, we must move from a place of truth, and that's our heart. And so now we begin by tuning in. This is our first opportunity to sing. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. I bow to the holy, to the teacher within. Feel free to listen or to join in. We'll do this 3 times this evening. Let's take a full breath before we begin. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Release our hands and we'll move into what we call Sufi grind. So this is just circles, seated circles. With our eyes closed, our body is moving with our breath. I'm going to start a timer here. And as we inhale, we circle forward. And as we exhale, we circle back. And this just anchors us into our sit bones, into our foundation, which is always important. If we are doing the big work, we want to be grounded, grounded, grounded. And our physical body is a major communicator of our emotional body. And so we first must feel the physical, this bag of bones and skin and tissue and other gunks is always communicating to us. And so now we just connect with it and start to listen. Good, and then we get to switch directions. So we circle the other way. Inhaling as we circle forward, exhale as we circle back. And just notice how this feels tonight. Notice what's on your mind. Notice your emotions. And this Kriya is a Kriya of worship, of honoring yourself, that I believe in myself is our mantra, right? Of this Virgo full moon. I believe in myself. Doesn't really matter what anyone thinks of me, anyone else thinks. I matter. I am worthy. Good, and then inhale, come to center. Let's hold the breath in the body. We find a root lock, which is engaging the pelvic floor, kind of like Kegels. Hold the breath for just a moment and notice how you feel. And then with control, release the breath and let it start to flow again. Take a moment. And now we get to move into our first opportunity, this first expression of this breath, of the inhale through the nose, exhale through the straw, the O of the lips. And to do that, we squeeze our elbows in, thumbs up, like heads up, 7 up when we were, I'm showing my age when I play heads up, 7 up, right? This is Agni Mudra. So this is our fire mudra, this mudra of complete transformation. And as we inhale through the nose, we twist to the left. As we exhale through our O, we twist to the right. And there we go. Inhaling, exhale. Nice and slow here. So tonight we are creating space. And I like to close my eyes so my head can move with the rest of my body. And notice how it feels to squeeze the arms to the ribs as you do this. So we are stimulating that vagus nerve, that parasympathetic nervous system, because we have to be calm in order to release. If we release in fight or flight, we miss the point. And so we must have a grounded, settled place to move from. And if twisting doesn't feel good, maybe we just sit at center. Maybe we move the head. Again, you get to decide what feels best to you. Inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. Resting if we need to. Where do we need to bring that fire in? That tapas, that agni, that transformation? Where can we burn down the barriers? Where can we shine light on the shadow? If we're really honest, what can that turn into? On your next inhale, come to center, sit tall. Again, hold the breath. Lift the pelvic floor, squeeze the elbows. Keep the thumbs lifted, grow taller through the top of the head. Be absolutely still. Exhale, release. Breathe here for a moment, just feeling that body. So we are opening to the change, to the future, to our future self. We're welcoming that in. Good, and then I invite you to come to a tall kneel. Maybe you sit on a block. If you don't have a block, a pillow works. So I'm going to sit back on my heels here. And if this doesn't feel good to you, then I invite you to take a straddle. Okay, so we'll move out of easy seated pose for a moment. Yes. All right, now we get to find this Kali Mudra. Kali is that fierce warrior goddess that wears the heads of the vanquished around her as a belt or as a necklace. So we're calling in that fierce warrior energy now to move into the shadow and bring light to those aspects of us that we don't really want to talk about. So our arms come in front of us. Left over right. Palms turn together and we interlace the fingers. Yes. Pointer fingers straight out, and then we lift this overhead. Good. So squeeze the arms, drop the shoulders. Engage the root lock, pelvic floor. Yes. And this is where we get to find breath of fire. So let's take a full breath before we begin. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Good, keep going. This is where we start to metabolize that pranayama, that oxygen, that energy, that life force. We're metabolizing it with this vigorous breath. Rest when you need to. But I will say there comes a moment in Breath of Fire where your monkey mind, that head brain, says, oh my gosh, take a breath, you're gonna die. The answer is probably not really. Just being a little dramatic, a little fear is walking in. What happens if instead you just take one more try, just do one more, just do one more, and all of a sudden a switch flips and your body regulates the breath instead of your mind. Almost there. Take a rest if you need it. Is that pelvic floor engaged? Let's lift it. Ground us through the sit bones. Lift through the crown of the head. Inhale. Hold the breath, reach to the fingertips, squeeze the arms, engage root lock, pelvic floor, breathe. Or don't breathe, hold on to it. Exhale, release it all out. Whew, take a moment, feel that fire. Let the palms rest face up. Notice how you're feeling. Feel that flush of circulation, right? All of that blood going to that throat, to the chest, to the lungs. Courage resides in the lungs. So we just stoked up our fire of courage to carry us into this journey of this Virgo moon of releasing and shadow work. Whew. Good, let's come back to easy seated pose. So, arms come out now. Our left palm is facing up. Our right palm is facing down. And we turn back into this twisting, but we're only twisting the neck. So our body stays still. And as we inhale through the nose, looking to the left. As we exhale through the O, look to the right. So I'm going to briefly tell you why we're doing this, right? Why are we doing this? This is weird, right? Left side of our body is receiving that feminine, expressive moon side. Right side is activating that masculine, that structure, that judgment, that critical categorizing, right? And so we want to inhale, we want to draw in that intuitive, that expressive, and we want to catch that in the palm of our hand side. And we want to activate the grounding, that energy coming from the earth. So we inhale the intuition, the expression. We exhale the structure, the foundation. And with our movement of our head, we travel along the lines of trust here. So through the throat and shoulders, moving horizontally is trust. Moving vertically, which we'll do in a minute, is faith. So we must trust ourselves. We must trust the universe. And that breath becomes almost like a sigh. If we need to, the elbows can bend. We can take our hands so our fingertips touch the earth. You can find any version of this that works in your body. On your next inhale, come to center. Seal the lips, pause with the breath in. Lift the pelvic floor, reach through the fingertips. Digest that oxygen, that energy. Exhale, release. Feel the fire? I'm sweating right now, right? What are we releasing? What is being burned up in this fire that we are creating? Let's come back to our knees. And this time, I'd like to, if it's possible, if it feels okay, sit on our heels, not on our block. Again, if this doesn't work, then I encourage you to just find a straddle instead. And now we get to move into the meridians of faith. So, fingers, nope, we're going to keep our hands separate for this one. Palms face each other. We'll inhale, reach tall to the sky. And as we exhale through the O, we come into that child's pose. So we inhale, rise tall, fingertips reach to the sky, gaze can lift. Exhale, fold to child's pose. And if we don't want to fold forward, then we just move our arms. So we inhale to lift. Exhale, pinkies touch the earth. Inhale to lift. Exhale. And as we become comfortable with this, we start to put a little space in. So we move into a box breath with the O exhale. So we inhale and put a little pause. Wait at the top. And then we exhale and we put a little pause and we wait at the bottom. I believe in myself. I have faith in myself. I believe the universe has my best interest. I believe I have faith in the universe. In today's dreams, today's imaginings, today's woo even, is tomorrow's reality. As we step outside of our comfort zone and think new thoughts and do new things, we are forming our future reality through our actions, thoughts, experiences. Good, and as we do our final exhale, we will remain in child's pose and breathe. Hands come to the earth. Keep the breath flowing here. If you want to spread the knees wide, you can. If you are seated tall, just let the hands rest, palms on the earth, and breathe. Beautiful. Let's make our way up to seated. And this may be where you want to block or even a seat of a chair. We're going to stand up and move into frog pose. So I won't lie, frog pose is my least favorite Kundalini movement in the whole wide world. But here we are being comfortable in the uncomfortable. And this pose teaches us to flip the script, right? It's also really great for the pelvis and the joints, the lower half of our body, which is our foundation and where we store a lot of our emotions. So the way this looks is I like to have a block in front of me and my heels come in to each other. My toes are out just slightly. And you want to check it so your knees track in the direction that your toes point, right? So as we inhale, we come up on our toes and sink our hips. So we're coming into kind of a wide, like a weird malasana with our heels lifted and our toes out. And that block here. Yep. This is our inhale. As we exhale, we straighten the legs and plant the heels, folding forward. So we inhale, coming onto the tiptoes, hips sink, head lifts. Exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. That is frog pose. Find any version of this that feels good. Hips come below the head, head comes above the hips as we inhale. Hips come above the head, head comes below the hips as we exhale. Slow and steady, breathing through the nose. And if this just is not your cup of tea, maybe you find that yogic squat. Sitting on the block. Arms between knees. Finding breath. But I invite you to walk your edge, right? What stories are you telling yourself? Ooh, I can't do this because X, Y, and Z. Or this is bad for me because. Those may be true stories. Listen to them. But is it that it is not the right choice for you? Is it just something you don't want to do? For me, it's I don't like it. So I'm going to tell myself, oh, I'm sure it's going to be bad for my knees. I don't think it's good for my ankles, blah, 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 blah. But really, it's just that I don't like to do it. Whee, where's your edge? That knocked me right over. Almost there, my friends. On the next exhale, pause, and then on the inhale, we'll roll up to stand. We'll eventually make it to our feet, no matter where we are. Yes, take a moment upright, feel that circulation through our lower half. Feel the soles of your feet. The palms of your hands. What is in your realm of awareness right now? What is in your realm of awareness right now? What are you ready to let go of? What does future you look like? How can we embody future you right now in this moment? All right, let's move into this next movement. So we start in goddess pose with hands at our heart. And this will be where we inhale, and this is all through the nose, inhaling. And as we exhale, we go left first, reaching to a warrior, kind of a lunge, and Agni Mudra, thumbs up, one hand to the heart, one hand forward. Where gaze is at the tip of the thumb. We inhale to center, goddess pose. Exhale to the right, all through the nose. So here we are inhaling to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Keep going with your own breath. Really reach to the side. And here we are manifesting and moving through past, present, future, right? So we're reaching to the future, which is as we go to the right, and we draw that back to the present. We reach to the past, and we draw aspects of ourselves to the present. That question of how can we embody future self? We have to know what that future self is before we can embody it. Where can we release and forgive in our past so we can bring those pieces of us that are stuck there to the present? And in this moment, we inhale. We breathe in the present moment, which changes every time we get there, doesn't it? One more in each direction, past, present, future. And we'll inhale to the present, hold the breath, palms press, lift the pelvic floor in this goddess pose. Exhale, release. Straighten the legs, walk those feet together. Coming all the way up to stand. I saw some great options there, by the way, my friends. That was beautiful to watch. Take a breath. I love that you are intuitively moving your bodies. That is the whole reason we're here. Good. Let's come back down to seated one more time. We have a down and an up, left. And I invite you to find Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together. But this may not be something that your body feels good for. And if that's the case, come back to that straddle, okay? And for this, I'll just put one block in front of me. If you have tall blocks, you want two, because we're gonna put our forearms on them, okay? If you can get to the floor, fabs, do that. This is where we get to do breath of fire again, okay? So forearms to the blocks or the floor, Agni Mudra, this mudra of transformation. Support the knees if you need to, if you're feeling a little like you're hanging out there. Gazes between the thumbs or on the floor beneath the hands. Draw the heart forward. So we're rocking forward on our sit bones. Yes. Let's take a full breath before we begin breath of fire. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And begin. So if we don't want to be folding forward, simply bring a block or two in front of us, or a chair, so our forearms can be grounded. If we don't want to do breath of fire, do that box breath like we did before. But here is where we begin. We can also keep our hands on our knees. This breath of fire will feel very different than the breath of fire we did before. Let the back of the neck be long as we move this vigorous breath through that throat, clearing the way, clearing our voice, clearing our throat. I believe in myself. I have trust and have faith in myself. Inhale. Pause with the breath retained. Lift the pelvic floor. Feel the forearms on the earth or a block. Lengthen the neck. Digest that prana, that energy. Exhale, release. Take the legs straight and breathe here for just a moment. Whee! Maybe our fingertips come to the earth. Maybe we move the head around a little bit. So as we work in this throat area and in these shoulders, especially in the shoulders, things can get clogged. So we got to keep it moving. Like we just stoked the fires a lot. We have brought a lot up into this throat, and this little bottleneck can get really stuck. So move it around, keep it flowing, even in those moments of pause between postures here. All right, let's stand up again. This will be our final time with our inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, which means we get to let it out. And it's perfect for right after this breath of fire that we just did. So from here, we want to take ourselves into tree pose, whatever version of tree pose. Weight is on the left foot to begin with. So our right foot pulls in, heel to the ankle, toes can stay grounded. Foot comes to the calf, or if you really feel the fire tonight, foot to the thigh. All of those are options. Know that we'll be here for 2 minutes, my friends. And then the next part, the fun part, is our arms come overhead like claws, clawing the air. Yes, so now you see, maybe we step it back a level, right, with our legs. And we begin that breath. We inhale, open the mouth. Roar it out like the fierce warrior we are. Inhale. Keep it going. Gaze can be on the earth or somewhere that isn't moving. Claw the air. Let all of that pent up fear, anxiety, rage, angst, things that are holding us back out. Shine that light into your power, into your strength, into your truth. If you get lightheaded or anything else like that, please breathe regularly. Maybe take the feet to the ground. And if we need to dig our hands beside us, bring those claws to our shoulders. That's a great option. I invite you to keep those claws, that fierceness, as much as you can. Good. Release the right foot to the earth. Keep the arms lifted if possible. And switch to the other side. So left heel tucks in, foot comes to the calf. Yes. Inhale. Claw the air, let it out. Notice the subtle shifts of energy here, right? Now we are standing on that activator foot, right? That foundational foot. How does that change the feeling of this posture? Rest when you need to. This is a long time to hold our arms up. I get it. I believe in myself. No matter where you are exactly where you need to be. No matter how you are doing this, you are doing exactly what your body is asking. Listen. Follow that intuition. Embrace the wobbles, embrace the wiggles. We are learning about our body in that moment. Just think if we never wobbled, we would never learn all the little things. The uncomfortableness, the comfort in the uncomfortableness. Inhale. Exhale, release. Both feet to the ground, hands release. Whoo, my friends, you are powerhouses. That was fantastic. Let's take a minute and just twist it out. I believe in myself. Look at what you just did. Look at that. Fantastic. Beautiful. And now we'll make our way back to seated. So I invite you to lay down if it feels comfortable to you. You will find a Shavasana for just the briefest of Shavasanas before we move into our mantra, our singing. I prefer to sit up during this Kriya. I like to sit in meditation with my hips a little elevated. But if you love to lay down, please do. I find that when I lay down, my nervous system goes, what the heck is happening? So find an easy seated pose or lie down on your mat. Palms face down to ground us, to anchor us back into this physical body. We have lifted very, very much into our throat, head, upper, higher chakras. And so now we need to bring ourselves down for a moment. Eyes close or gaze softens. Feel the pelvic floor. Find that root lock. Let the breath regulate here. Shoulders grow heavy. And you may find that our eyes pop open. That's normal. That is expected at times. Return to that mantra, I believe in myself. I release anything that isn't mine any longer. I believe in myself. And as we sit or lie here, visualize, imagine, picture that royal you, that future self that is autonomous, bold, vibrant, powerful. Picture that you in your mind's eye. Form the details. What do they wear? How do they move? How do they speak? What do they think? How do they feel? I believe in myself. When you find yourself wandering, return to your breath. Return to that image of you. Return to your mantra, I believe in myself. I have trust and faith in myself. Begin to deepen the breath. Slowly returning to your body. Feel the body on the earth. Feel the breath in the body. Feel that vision of you, that future you, that bold, autonomous, powerful you, moving into this physical body right here, right now, embodying your future self. And then slowly, ever so slowly, start to put movement in, just enough that you can return to an easy seated pose if you're not there already. We will move into our mantra portion, taking your time sitting back up. This is our mantra. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se Soham. What the heck does that mean? These are bij sounds of the universe. And if you want to write these down on a piece of paper or something, I encourage you to. I have notes because I always mix up the mantra. This first line, Satanama, these are the seed sounds of the universe. This is the cycle of life. So it is past, present, future, pause. That pattern, that cycle of life. Satanama. Ramadasa represents the seed sounds of earth, water, air, the elements, so the world around us, ether. And then Sa Se Soham represents that connection of universe and self. So the version of self and the version of self, capital S, that connection of two. So we have all aspects of existence in this mantra. The cycle of life, the elements of the world that we live in, that build the world that we live in, and the self and the connection to source, all in this mantra. It's a beautiful, beautiful mantra. So as we do this, it sounds like this. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se Soham. That's all it is. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se Soham. Over and over. It's lovely. We will find a mudra, which is the language of our hands. And for tonight, we will find Fearless Heart Mudra. And so when we do that, we interlace our fingers this way, the inside way. Palms come together. Our pointer fingers, again, come out. And then we tip the thumb down. So when you look at it, there's a little heart in the middle. You see it? It's like magic. I'll do that one more time for you. Fingers come in, palms come together. Yep, so it's like that. Pointer fingers out. Thumbs turn down. So we make a diamond with our pointer fingers and thumbs, and there's a heart in the middle of the diamond. And I bring that right to my heart or my solar plexus, thumbs in, so my fingers are pointing straight out. And elbows can come down or wide, right? So if our elbows are lifted wide, that is opening to the flow of that energy. If the elbows are towards our sides, we are grounding and anchoring in our physical body. Okay? So I'm going to scoot myself back. And again, feel free to listen. Feel free to join in. You are muted so you can belt it out to the universe like the glorious goddess that you are, that vibration of self. I encourage you to do that. I will sing for you. We'll do this for, we'll say 3 minutes today. So close the eyes if that feels good to you. Soften the gaze otherwise. Feel the power of that fearless heart mudra. You are fearless. You are bold. Let's take a breath before we begin. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se Soham. 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 Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang. Inhale. Exhale, release the mudra. Pause in that residual resonance of your own voice, your power. Let's bring our hands together one more time. That was beautiful. Returning to that place of truth, turning on that heart brain yet again to guide us as we move forward. Palms press, thumbs to the sternum. We'll finish today with a single Sat Nam, a long Sat, a short Nam. I am truth, I am light. Yet again, raising our voices to come together. Let's take an inhale to begin. Sat Nam. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within guide your way on. Sat Nam, my friend. Thank you so much. I am so honored to have you all with me this evening. Happy full moon in Virgo. If you want more of this, if you want to practice with me more, I would love to invite you all into my Kundalini community where we do this all the time. We just today finished a 40-day sadhana. We have live practices all the time. We have community discussions. I call them Coffee with Chris. And I would love to invite you in. You can find that information on my website. It's simply chrisbatzner.com. You can find that and more, all of the other offerings that I offer, but I would love to practice with you more. And if nothing else, I can see you next month under the next full moon, right? Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were all here. I honor each and every one of you. Shine bright, my sweet souls. Take care.